As we've gone through the discipleship pathway here at New Beginnings Church, remember that this is not a formula or a prescription. It's really just a way to help people navigate church life and grow using the resources and connections that we have here at our church. Now, last week we looked at stage 2, and that was all about connection. And if you missed that video, that's okay, because they're all uploaded on a playlist on our YouTube channel. If you look up New Beginnings, Charis Fellowship on YouTube, and find our playlist for the discipleship pathway, you can watch all the videos that have come out. I'll also be coming out with some handouts that will be available at the Welcome Center at some point. And then also, we'll have a New Beginners class coming up soon where you can get into this and find out more details and ask your questions. But stage 2, if someone is starting to connect and they've visited our church a few times, they're ready to move into stage 3. You'll notice in the graphic, there's always a bridge between one stage to another one. I want to make it really easy for people to understand what it's like to move from one stage to another stage. So after stage 2, someone's attended worship, they've met some people, they've shared their contact information, and they've experienced the life of our church in an introductory way. But stage 3 is all about starting to belong at New Beginnings Church. And so I would describe crossing the bridge from stage 2 to stage 3. Here would be a couple markers. You've attended about 5 worship services, so you've started to get an idea of how we do things, what the feel is here, and you've made some personal contacts. Not just like handshaking someone or giving them a high five, but a real connection. You've prayed with them, you know them, and you might have met with someone outside of weekly Sunday morning service. And third, you're on our weekly communication email list. This is the flow of all of our information here at church. This is where we talk about what are we doing to reach out, raise up, and refine this week? What are our urgent prayer requests? What events are coming up? How can you get involved in volunteer services? So someone has moved from just visiting, and now they're beginning to plant here. That's the bridge from stage 2 to stage 3. And without intentional bridges, people tend to drift or just not know what stage they're in. My goal is to help you be able to look at where you're at in our church life, what you've done, and say, hey, I know where I'm at and how I could move forward. Stage 3 of the discipleship pathway is called Finding Your Flow. Psalm 1 describes the life of a Christian, and I love the imagery that's used. Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law he meditates day and night. He will be like a tree firmly planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in its season. Its leaf does not wither, and whatever he does, he prospers. Now, our discipleship pathway is not the same as delighting in the law of the Lord, although hopefully these two things can go together. But I like the idea of the word planted. We want to move people from just attending our church services to actually rooting. This is about helping people develop consistent rhythms of belonging, worship, and service at New Beginnings Church. The people in this stage are regular attenders. They recognize some faces. Maybe they don't know all the names yet, but they're starting to. They know who some of our leaders are, and they're beginning to feel like this might be the home church for them. But now they need roots, and in this stage, we want to really intentionally help people learn the heartbeat of New Beginnings Church. This is all about understanding what is our mission. What is the vision of who we're growing to be? What is our statement of faith? This is a great time to explore our community groups, to be building relationships, to participate in different opportunities, to have prayer and fellowship, and start discovering where might you be a good fit to serve here. This is where someone really begins to flow with our church body instead of just observing it maybe from a pew. One of the things that happens often in many modern churches is people are allowed to coast in anonymity. And as the church looks at their metrics, they're just worried about the number of attenders and their seats. That's not at all what we're about here at New Beginnings Church. We want to empower your spiritual life and growth and walk with Christ in your ministry and help you do that well. It's a very active, involved thing where anonymity is something we would try to avoid. This is not a rush stage. In fact, I estimate the time for someone to spend in stage 3 about 4 to 6 months. And that could be even more or it could be less depending on your personality. The goal is having a lot of clarity and understanding what's going on. We don't want people to have to guess who we are. We want them to be planted and doing well. Now, the movement out of stage 3, we'll talk about when we look at what it means to move into stage 4. But stage 3 is really important. This is where you learn who we are, how you might fit, and start to get a really good idea of whether God would be calling you to make New Beginnings Church your home church, your local body, where you can do life and follow Christ with us.